Hey guys, it's Paul Jang. I'm going to be talking to you about bookkeeping. When, how do I go about it? I'll talk about it in terms of land investing. Um, so when I first started, I was promoted to a lot of different courses, a lot of different, software, different materials. I navigated through a lot of it, and this is just gonna break down exactly how I do it, what I think about it. Um, there's two camps with the land investing world. I would say one group is, oh, you need bookkeeping, this and that, and the other group just kind of like deals with it during tax time. So when I first started land investing, I didn't really think about it that much until I was promoted a course where I paid, I think $500 or $750, and it explains how if you don't set up your bookkeeping right from the get-go, it is an extreme pain and sore spot, later on when you do taxes and et cetera, et cetera. I saw that. I was like, oh, okay, well, if that's the case, then I'm going to start my land investing stuff. Like, I need to really consider this and you think about it. So I bought the course, researched it, studied it, et cetera, tried to apply it. The one that I went through was with the Land Geek group and with Scott Todd. I don't know if he still does it, but I think he used to be like an accountant or some sort, or a financial assistant. Great guy. It's decent, decent community. I think the RE Tipster group is a little bit better. And there's some other ones that I think are a little bit better too. But, I bought the course, and ultimately it runs through a software called Xero. It's a competitor of QuickBooks. And for those that don't know it, I'm not an accountant. I kind of figured it out and mustered it up and, did these accounts like every 2 weeks and etc. And then after a while, when I got to like my tax season, and I use HR Block, just an accountant. The most important thing for land sales, when it's a cash deal, it's like pretty simple you just get your whatever profit. But the hiccup is with these installment sales, and that's what you have to call it whenever you talk with your accountant. Do you know about installment sales? Can you put that in the in your tax file and all that? Because really, I tried using TurboTax like in the beginning to save costs in my initial like land investing stuff, and I just kind of found like, oh man, like it's kind of a pain and it's gonna get complicated. So I hired an accountant to kind of do my taxes for me, right? And he knew about installment sales. The first year that I used them, I used all the principles from the course and different ratios and this and that, and made it real nice and easy for him. But when tax season came, I spent like hours preparing that for him. And after I realized he could just kind of do it, the accountant, I was like, okay, well then I canceled the Xero subscription. I stopped doing all of that. And I just found, okay, if I have a simple database, for the longest time I used Excel and just listed out my installment sales, what I bought, when I bought it, who I sold it to, for how much, the down payment, and the terms, the interest rate, and whatnot. The accountants know, how to basically set up the installment sales. You just have to keep up to date with like who cancels, if and when they cancel, an installment sale. It doesn't happen that much, but if it happens, they have to know because it changes some of their ratios. But if you just keep record of all that, it really makes your life much easier. And I wouldn't stress over, the little stuff. Major in the big stuff, and don't worry about the little stuff. In the land investing world, in real estate, I'd say in almost all businesses, the money is in marketing. The money is in actually bringing in clients. It's actually bringing in revenue. The admin stuff are things that, like, taxes, little data entry, and like that kind of stuff. It's important, but if you don't make money, it doesn't even really matter. So like, if you just start making deals and keep at it, like all the other stuff kind of like work out. So I started out with, oh wow, I need to of course make things very smooth and proper. I don't want to get in trouble with the IRS. The IRS doesn't care because you are so small. Like, your business isn't anything right now. And until you're like starting to scale, get into 6 figures and bigger, like it's not, you're figuring out. An accountant could help you. I think I paid like $1,200 last time for my accountant, and they saved me thousands of dollars from other places. And I stopped worrying so much about different entries. Is it a debit or a credit in my accounting ledger, right? Like, what's the ratio, and move this and move that. It's just a hassle that isn't necessarily where you need to spend your time. So when should you do bookkeeping? Most bookkeeping services will refuse you because the installment sales process is pretty difficult for them to record. So until you're at a point where your books are set up that like you just have so many deals, I would not worry about any of that. Just start making deals, okay? And all the other stuff, your accountant could kind of figure that out when and if you need it. If you end up doing so few deals, like you'll spend a couple hours and figure out TurboTax and do that, right? So I wouldn't worry about bookkeeping so much. I would worry about your cash flow and make sure that you're at a positive. Either I would say the biggest expenses are your marketing expenses and land purchases. So over time, I would say for the scaling purposes, you would need to get into option agreements or extended contracts or JV partnering with someone to purchase land outright. So that's where you need to spend your time. How do you scale? How are you going to get money or borrow, right? How are you going to borrow? How are you going to move this? Because the land investing business, it's very profitable. It's very easy, I would say, once you have your systems. But it takes time for you to make profit, and you need to kind of stick to it. So those are some of my thoughts with the bookkeeping stuff. Don't worry about them. This is a minor thing. Focus on the major things. So have a good one. If you like this, subscribe and like it, and check out the description if you want to check out the land course. Have a good one. Bye.